Welcome out again, everyone. Every Monday at the 6 o'clock hour, between the hours of 6 to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're here with you. Sports Talk Mania, I'm your host, Lee Haygood. We're going to talk all kinds of sports, especially local sports around Lawrence County, Tennessee, Loretta, Tennessee, Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, Summertown, Tennessee. Be glad to talk with you. You can give us a phone call. Phone lines are open, 931-629-1824. Hey, if you don't want to talk to us on the phone and get on with us live, you can check us out at Sports Talk at MustangsTV.com. That's our email address if you'd like to get an email sent in to us. We'll answer emails as well. But we'd rather talk to you here on this Monday afternoon. It's Monday, September the 15th, 2014. Be glad to talk to you about anything sports related here on Sports Talk Mania. We even venture off sometimes, don't even talk about some sports. So let's have a good time on today's show, and we're ready for you to call in at any time. Again, phone lines are open. Even if you hear me blabbing on about sports, give us a call, 931-629-1824. That's what we're here for. We'll discuss it. I'm going to give you my opinion first and foremost on a lot of things. I'll answer any questions you have sports related. If I don't know them, hey, we'll make something up, but I'd rather tell you the truth and tell you. I probably just don't know about it if it's something I don't know. Again, you can give us a call, 931-629-1824. Be glad to talk to you. A lot of things going on in the sports world, especially, we get out of one thing talking about professional sports and the NFL in general. We get out of one thing with the Ray Rice issue. We get into another one with Adrian Peterson. And that's a couple of things that's on the page for the NFL, or anything that's actually related to the NFL problems. Got all that going on. We're going to be discussing some of that. I'm going to give you my opinion on that as well. Had the big Loretta-Lawrence County High School rivalry this past Friday night. Didn't go so well for the Loretta Mustangs. Congratulations goes out to the Lawrence County High School Wildcats, taking one down at LM Forsyth Memorial Field in Loretta by a score of 42-12. That was the final score Friday night as the Wildcats made the 12-mile trip south down to Loretta, took on our own Mustangs, and unfortunately the Mustangs come out on the losing end of that one. Trying to get Coach Boyd to call in today. Actually was able to connect with him, but I know he's got a big B-team game going on at Lawrence County High School. Hopefully he can give us a call. If he can, hey, we'll talk to him about it maybe next Monday here on Sports Talk Mania. Going to kind of give you a few things of what I seen that was going on this past week this past ball game between Lawrence County High School and the Loretta Mustangs. I'm going to be honest. I felt like, I know the score don't show it, and people may think I'm crazy out there, and they may think I'm crazy anyway, whether I make this statement and give my opinions on this or not. But, however, what I saw Friday night was probably the best game that the Loretta Mustangs had played. I even, when I was texting and trying to get in touch with Coach Boyd this afternoon, I was even text him and told him I felt the same way. And again, that's not thinking I'm crazy, but I want to kind of explain myself on where I looked at that. The Loretta Mustangs actually had more yardage for the night than the Lawrence County High School Wildcats. And I know you're probably thinking, well, how in the world could the score be 42-12, the final score? I'm going to try to tell you what I think about that one as well. One thing that the Mustangs couldn't do is close out a drive. We would drive the ball down the field, get down inside the 35-yard line or inside the red zone of the 20-yard line, something would happen. We would get a good drive going. We ate up the clock. The Loretta Mustangs ended up controlling the clock like 30. They had 30-plus minutes of game time, and there's only 48 minutes in a high school football game, 4 12-minute quarters in a high school football game. The Loretta Mustangs held the ball for more than 30 minutes of that 48 total minutes. Lawrence County High School Wildcats only held it for 17 minutes plus, but still they scored 42 points. They were very opportunistic of every opportunity they had. They took advantage of it. And that's what teams do. That's what good teams do, and teams that really want to take it to the next level, that's what you got to do. And that's what Coach Lee Boyd's young football squad is all about. They've got to get to that next level, and that's where Coach Boyd and his coaching staff are trying to do. They've got some key players. They got some senior key players. They got, Miles Burks, one that just pops out, made an excellent catch Friday night, going up above two Wildcat defenders, coming down with the ball for a huge first down at the time, and several opportunities that were actually missed by the Mustangs receiving core and I say the receiving core, also going back to quarterback Luke Fleming. Luke was, I think he was way too intense Friday night, and who wouldn't be with a big county rivalry going on? I'm not saying I wouldn't be, because there is no way I could even get close to those receivers throwing the football in a big game like that. And I'm sure that was what was going on with Luke. He overthrew the ball a few times to some open receivers, but then again, some open receivers actually didn't catch the ball a couple of times when he did. A few good defensive plays were made by the Wildcat secondary. So all in all, personally, I believe the Loretta Mustangs played their best game of the year, being the fourth game. They're 1-3 now. That drops their record to 1-3. Congratulations to the Wildcats, picking up win number 2, making them 500 for the season at 2-2. A few tough games coming up for the Wildcats, and we'll discuss that a little bit later on as well. The Loretta Mustang have Collinwood Trojans. They actually travel over to Collinwood this Friday night to take on the Trojans. A great atmosphere over at Collinwood. So if you're able to get out and pick up this game and take in this game, please do so. If you've never been to a high school football game, that's one of the best atmosphere there is. They're kind of their stadium, and everybody knows this, that's fine, but the ones that don't, their stadium kind of sits down in a hole, and it just makes that football feeling so much better, just like the old high school field back at E.O. Kaufman School there in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. One of the greatest feelings of all was walking down that ramp going to the football field, just because of all the echoes that you had inside that surrounding there. Just a great atmosphere. Love the atmosphere at Collinwood, and that's where the Mustangs will be going this Friday night. It's a big district game coming up for the Mustangs. Hopefully they can play very well in the district coming up Friday night again. That's Mustangs traveling to Collinwood, Tennessee to take on the Collinwood Trojans. Big district game coming up Friday night. I don't think Collinwood has actually won a game this year. I'm going to have to check my notes on that when I go to break here in a few minutes. But again, the Loretta Mustangs headed to Collinwood this Friday night to take on the Collinwood Trojans following a 42-12 defeat to the Lawrence County Wildcats this past Friday night in the big county rivalry Van Johnson Cup going on at A.L.M. Forsyth Memorial Field. So looking forward to Friday, big district game again coming up for the Mustangs. So hope to see everyone there. If you can't check us out, always, you can check us out at MustangsTV.com, where myself, Josh McDonald, Big Fred on the sidelines will be bringing you the action the best we can, and hopefully we can do a great job, as we never give enough credit to these young student athletes that's out on the field playing, but we always try to call it like we see it and do the best we can. So again, if you can't make it out to Collinwood this Friday night to support your Loretta Mustangs, then by all means check us out on MustangsTV.com. You're tuned in to Sports Talk Mania. I'm your host, Lee Haygood. I'll be around to the 7 o'clock p.m. hour, so give us a call. Phone lines will be open. As for now, we're going to go take a break, get one of our great sponsors in. We want to thank all of our sponsors: Loretta Insurance Services, Southern Craft Manufacturing, The Big Fred Show, and, of course, the Tennessee National Raceway. We'll be back after this. The Tennessee National Raceway, where dirt track racing is at its best. That's the Tennessee National Raceway, 316 Racetrack Road, Hohenwald, Tennessee. Come out each and every Saturday night during racing season, ladies and gentlemen, and see some of the best dirt track racing anywhere around this area. That's the Tennessee National Raceway, 316 Racetrack Road, Hohenwald, Tennessee.
Your number one Mustang fans, Auto Owners Insurance and Loretto Insurance Services, a winning combination. We'll work with you to insure your home, auto, business, and life to keep everything you value safe, sound, secure. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Call Loretto Insurance Services in Loretto today, 931-853-7126. Southern Craft Manufacturing in Loretto, Tennessee blends old world craftsmanship and modern manufacturing for a multitude of steel and brushed finish caskets. Founder Rodney Robinson is dedicated to providing the finest quality at the best value. At Southern Craft Manufacturing, we are committed to choice with a variety of colors and hardware designs for limitless combinations. Southern Craft Manufacturing, North Main Street, Loretto. Toll free 800-413-1778.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Talk Mania. Let's talk some sports. Give me a call. Phone lines are open, 931-629-1824. If you'd like to get on here and talk about the Loretto Mustang Lawrence County High School Wildcat Van Johnson Cup this past Friday night, we'll be glad to talk to you about that. You want to talk a little racing? Want to talk a little wrestling? We'll talk about that as well. Give us a call. We're here for you guys to call in out there and get this week started, get this week on the roll. Monday Night Football coming up a little later. That's the reason we're where we're at as far as the time slot is. Don't want people to miss Monday Night Football or anything like that. You can catch other sports talk shows going on around the Lawrence County area on X Sports. That's 105.3, the X, coming out of WLX Radio. So you can give them a listen. I think they're usually on from 5 to 6 o'clock on Monday afternoons. And that'll bring you right into Sports Talk Mania with myself. We're going to talk about anything sports related. You can always give us a call at 931-629-1824. I want to say congratulations going out to Matt Cool Breeze Rawson, competing in a couple of college games at the University of the South. That's Sewanee University. He actually seen something where they had posted on Facebook where he got his first collegiate official play in and rolled out. Unfortunately, did not complete the pass. Rolled out to the right, looking in the end zone. I think it was for a 2-point conversion possibly, and did not complete the pass. But, hey, congratulations goes out to one of our own Loretto Mustangs, Matt Cool Breeze Rawson, on his playing in college sports. We love to see these student athletes go on to the next level once they leave the Loretto Mustangs, the Lawrence County High School Wildcats, or the Summertown Eagles. We love when they make it to that next step. Listen to it on the radio. A couple of the basketball players from Summertown have went on and played at University of North Alabama. Listen to their basketball games on their local radio stations coming out of the North Alabama area, and just love to actually tune in to these games, especially when we've got one of our own Lawrence County student athletes taking that next step into the collegiate level and playing good ball on the next level. Talking about the Lawrence County High School Loretto contest one more time. Want to get back into that again, hoping Coach Boyd can call. If not, we totally understand. Know he's got a B-team game going on at Lawrence County this evening as well, so trying to get him on a little earlier maybe today. We couldn't make those arrangements too well, so hopefully we can get him on before our show is over with anyway. So talking about the game, again, like I said, I believe the Loretto Mustangs played possibly one of the best games, if not the best game they've played so far this season. I absolutely loved the ball game and the progress that I saw. I mean, I wish we could have won, but I love the progress that I saw this past Friday night from our players. It looks like we were executing, and execution is key. Coach Boyd and I have talked about that early on in the season about execution. Well, I felt like Friday night, we executed very well. Had a lot, as far as the defense side of the ball, had a lot of missed tackles. That's one thing I'm sure Coach Boyd and his coaching staff will be working on this week. Had a lot of missed tackles going on in the ball game, and I actually counted a few of them out while we were actually broadcasting live, because I was seeing the players be where they were supposed to be, and I just, very happy that we were getting to our spots, doing what we were supposed to do, especially with all the younger players that were playing on the defensive side of the ball, getting to our spots, getting things done that we were supposed to be getting done, except for finishing it off by making the tackle on the defensive side of the ball. Offensive side of the ball, I thought we'd done an excellent job moving the ball. Like I said earlier, we actually outgained Lawrence County High School Wildcats. As far as total yards was concerned, the Mustangs coming up, it was 300 plus, and I had to get my statistician Josh McDonald to give me exact, but I will say this. I know that the Mustangs was at 300 plus total yards. The Lawrence County High School Wildcats was around 283, 273 yards, something of that nature. So we actually outgained them yardage-wise. We moved the ball great on our offensive side of the ball. Great athlete that they got on their defense side that actually was making some key stops. And when I say key stops, when the Mustangs would be going forward on fourth down, or when the Mustangs was going forward on third and 2 or 3 yards, it seemed like big number 72 for the Wildcats always stepped in and was making the play, and that's Eric Hicks. Congratulations to Eric. Had a great game this past Friday night against the Mustangs. And as far as the offensive side of the ball, it was big plays. And the big plays I'm talking about was usually missed tackles involved. However, I got to hand it to Mr. Lockridge. He was doing an excellent job running the ball. When he'd get it on the end around, or it would what they would do is kind of get the Wildcats would get the whole defense, offense and defense, moving one way on the field and then hand it back. It's not really a reverse because everything would be moving to the left, and then here would come Mr. Lockridge to the right, take the handoff, and go around the end, and he had some deceptive speed. He was getting around that end, and no one on the Mustangs was able to catch him. So he broke free for, I think, 3 touchdowns just himself Friday night. So congratulations to him on having a big game. In the county rivalry game, the Van Johnson Cup this past Friday night, again, the Lawrence County High School Wildcats taking the Van Johnson Cup this year against the Mustangs by a score of 42-12. If we get Coach Boyd on, we'll talk some more about that. We might come back to it later on as well. Getting into college football, let's talk a little college football. Heard today where the AP poll has actually got 5 SEC West teams included in their AP top 10. That's great. SEC, the SEC has been one of the most dominant conferences in college football, and I'm not telling football fans anything new, but some of you may be listening to us and tuned in to us on Sports Talk Mania that you may not understand the SEC, the power of the SEC. The SEC has been a dominant conference for, I'm going to say, going on about 15 to 18 years now probably. And we can go all the way back to, let's say, 92 maybe even, as far as being a dominant conference. Haven't won every championship since then, but you usually don't, even when you are as dominating as you are. But that's because you beat up on each other so much during the season. And that's what's going to happen this year. They're not going to keep, the SEC West is not going to keep 5 teams in the top 10 simply because they're going to be beating up on each other. Especially the West is going to play all the West teams, and the East will play all the East teams. And when you're playing all of them, they're not going to stay in the top 10. So congratulations to the SEC for being as dominant as they are up to this point. So we're going to look forward to seeing what happens when they actually get into more of the conference play, which is going to be kicking off more conference games this coming week, and then you're going to get even more the following Saturday. So looking forward to that. The 5 SEC West teams that's in the top 10 of the AP poll is, of course, Alabama is going to be up there. And then we're going to have the Texas A&M Aggies in there. I didn't figure they would be as good as they are, but so far they're proving to be a pretty good ball club. And quietly, the LSU Tigers are in there. I know there's not a lot of hype going on in the Bayou this year, and LSU the fans kind of keeping quiet still, but I'm figuring that they may be someone to reckon with before it's all said and done. And how about you Ole Miss Rebels? Even Ole Miss has made it. I think they're actually ranked number 10 in the AP poll this week. So Ole Miss Rebels in there, and then, of course, you got the Auburn Tigers in there as well. So that's the 5 SEC West teams that's in the top 10 in the AP poll in the nation. So we'll see what happens there, especially when all these SEC West teams start playing each other. Big win for the old ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier, this past weekend as he took a big win over the Georgia Bulldogs, which sets I believe the final score was 38-35. And that's a big win for the old ball coach. Everyone was thinking that South Carolina was going to lose the first 2 conference games. Of course, getting beat pretty handily by the Texas A&M Aggies a couple of weeks ago. And when they got beat by them, everybody's thinking, okay, Georgia's coming up. How's the old ball coach going to act when he's 0-2? Well, guess what? The old ball coach is not 0-2 in SEC play. He took the game this past Saturday over the Georgia Bulldogs by a score of 38-35. So congratulations to the old ball coach on that. And I know as a Tennessee fan, we never did like the man when he was down at the Swamp. When he coached the Florida Gators, no Tennessee fan cared anything about him. That's because they were in the SEC East. Still in the SEC East in South Carolina, but a little bit different now. I kind of root for the old ball coach now. Of course, I'm an SEC fan. I'm going to root for the SEC teams, but when SEC's playing the SEC, he's probably one of the teams that I'm rooting for the most in the SEC East especially. So, old ball coach getting that big win this past weekend as well. Tennessee Volunteers. Talking about my Volunteers. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to watch the second half of the game. Yes, I have found out that the score was final at 34-10. Doing some my racing job on Saturday night. I was not able to pick it up. Watched the first half of it on Sunday morning. As soon as I got up Sunday morning, I actually watched the first half of the ball game, and everything started happening, and the house, everybody getting ready and all this stuff. So wasn't able to pick up the second half yet. Plan on watching it, but I was kind of impressed with my Tennessee Volunteers in the first half. Going out, taking all these young players that we've got on our roster this year, and actually that Coach Butch Jones is playing at the University of Tennessee. Got all these young players, these freshmen on there, and hey, I was kind of impressed. Great to see our young players go out to an atmosphere that they did out in Norman, Oklahoma to take on the Sooners. Number 4 team in the nation. One of the hardest stadiums I hear to play in by, previous players in history. And so it's one of those things where let's see what you got. Let's see what you can do, and let's see how you hold your composure. I was proud of the Tennessee Volunteers. I thought they come out fired up, ready to play. Think we got a little drained, and I kind of figured that. A bunch of young players, and the depth's just not worked up there yet. Coach Jones has not got the depth where he wants it, I'm sure. So we're going to see what happens in the coming weeks for the Volunteers. Like I say, as far as the first half was concerned, again, I have not been able to watch the second half. I'm going to try to get around to doing that soon so I can give be more analytical on that part of it. So we'll see. But first half, I was very impressed. They've done a great job, I thought, as far as the defense, which we've got some veteran defenders on there, A.J. Johnson being one of them, making a lot of plays on the defensive side of the ball. And on the offensive side of the ball, poor old quarterback Justin Worley having no time whatsoever pretty much the whole ball game. Of course, he's got one of the youngest lines, if not the youngest line, in college football in front of him. He was running for his life for most of the first half, and from what I'm hearing, he probably ran for his life most of the second half as well. So, but when you got a lot of youngsters up in front of you, and especially in that atmosphere, 34-10 final score. I'm not going to say I was extremely happy because I'm no different than anyone else. I like for my team to win, being a fanatic that I am for the University of Tennessee Volunteers. I like for my team to be on the winning side. Unfortunately, they were not this past Saturday, but played a great team in the Oklahoma Sooners, so kind of impressed with that team as well. And with that being said, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, catch my breath. We'll be back to talk other sports. Phone lines will be open, ladies and gentlemen. You can give us a call at any time at 931-629-1824. Look forward to talking to you after a word from our great sponsors.
Tailgate checklist. Cooler.
Check.
Chips.
Check.
Hot dogs.
Check.
Mustang gear.
Check.
Insurance.
Check.
This season, protect your team with insurance from Auto Owners Insurance and Loretto Insurance Services. Keep everything you value safe, sound, secure. Call Loretto Insurance Services in Loretto today, 931-853-7126.
At Southern Craft Manufacturing, our commitment to choice sets us apart. Using both old-world craftsmanship and modern techniques, we proudly provide the finest quality and greatest value caskets in the industry. Founder Rodney Robinson is a third-generation casket manufacturer, providing the highest quality finished product. Call toll-free 800-413-1778, Southern Craft Manufacturing on North Main Street in Loretto, Tennessee.
Hey, y'all. Thank y'all for listening to my brother Lee on Sports Talk Mania with Lee Haygood. Be sure to also tune in on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock for the Big Fred Show. Me and Lee and Mustangs TV, we the Total Bro Network, baby. Tune in and listen to us.
The Tennessee National Raceway, where dirt track racing is at its best. That's the Tennessee National Raceway, 316 Racetrack Road, Hohenwald, Tennessee. Come out each and every Saturday night during racing season, ladies and gentlemen, and see some of the best dirt track racing anywhere around this area. That's the Tennessee National Raceway, 316 Racetrack Road, Hohenwald, Tennessee. Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Talk Mania. Still got a little over 30 minutes remaining in the show. Be glad to discuss anything with you about anything sports related. You can give us a call. Phone lines are open at 931-629-1824. Look forward to talking to you about the Mustang Wildcat game, the upcoming Mustang Collinwood Trojan game. We'll talk about Lawrence County High School Wildcats, what they've got coming up. We'll talk about Summertown basketball if you like. Give us a call. We know you're out there. We know you're listening. Give us a call at 931-629-1824. Talking about our Tennessee Volunteers. The Volunteers, again, coming off a loss to Oklahoma by a score of 34-10. We've got Georgia coming up in 2 weeks. Again, the Volunteers has got a bye week this coming week. They will not be playing this week at all. Next time they're going to hit the field is going to be at the Hedges. That's down in Georgia against the Georgia Bulldogs. Saturday, September the 27th at 11 o'clock in the morning. That's going to be kickoff time. 11 a.m. Saturday, September 27th, when the Tennessee Volunteers head to the Hedges down at Georgia to take on the Georgia Bulldogs. That, to me, is going to be our test. Let's see how much progress Coach Butch Jones and his staff and his players have made against the Georgia Bulldogs. I think I wish this game was a little later. I wish we had another game or two against some maybe weaker opponents to build up a little bit more momentum. And first and foremost, get, just a little bit more winning up under your belt, I guess is the best way to put it. And we're going to see how the Volunteers do, especially against Georgia, but we're going to have to wait a couple of weeks, all you Volunteer fans, as the Volunteers do have a bye week coming up this week. So they will not be playing this week. Again, next football game for the Tennessee Volunteers at the Georgia Bulldogs, home between the hedges, Saturday, September 27th. At 11 o'clock kickoff time, or that's what it's slated for right now. They could change it in the near future. Who knows? But we'll see about our Volunteers at the end. Talking about the professional baseball, last week, the Atlanta Braves I brought up, wondering if they can make the playoffs. It don't look like our Atlanta Braves is going to make the playoffs. That's America's team. Talking to a guy, and he said his mother was a big Braves fan as well, and she was kind of wanting to call in last week and talk. She didn't get that opportunity too, as they were busy, got real busy. So she may be listening and tuned into us today. She may want to talk to us today. Who knows? Phone lines are open at 931-629-1824. Be glad to talk to you. The world of racing. The Brad Keselowski takes the first race in the race for the championship. That was yesterday at Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois. Chicagoland Speedway, Brad Keselowski takes that first race in the chase, locks himself into the next step. In case you're not familiar with NASCAR has kind of changed their championship points run this year, or their title and championship, to win their cup. And the way they've changed it is they're going to actually start eliminating people. People are going to be eliminated from rounds, and they've got 3 rounds going into the actual last race that you've got to keep stepping up. With Brad Keselowski's win yesterday, and he's locked himself into the next round of the chase anyway, so he's going to be one of the drivers. They're going to knock 4 drivers out, I think, at each stage. They started out with 16. They're going to knock 4 out at each stage going into the final race. And the final race is going to be slated where there's only going to be 4 of them that's got the opportunity to win. And it's going to depend on points as far as where they finished. Did they lead laps? Did they lead the most laps? So going to be interesting. I think that's one of not sure if I like that format, the new format for NASCAR, or don't like the new format for NASCAR. We're going to see in the next 9 weeks. Again, Brad Keselowski taking the first race of the chase yesterday at Joliet, Illinois, the Chicagoland Speedway. Got Loudon, New Hampshire coming up this week. So Loudon, New Hampshire on Sunday. We'll see who takes that one. If Keselowski takes it, well, then they're going to start going. It's not how they're figuring this thing to work out, but who knows? That's exactly how it may work out. So we're going to keep up with that on our NASCAR, and our NASCAR fans will be watching that. A lot of things going on in the world of sports. Talking about the NFL, the bad things going on. Excuse me, in the NFL, we've got the Ray Rice incident, which is just keeps going and going and going. That is what it is. Personally, I'm against these folks that saying that Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL, is at fault for any of this. Roger Goodell didn't do anything wrong. Granted, I know it was a terrible situation. Shouldn't have happened. I've gave you my feelings on that a couple of shows ago. Gave you my feelings on this hitting a woman, period. So I totally 100% disagree with that. But everyone's calling for Roger Goodell to be fired. I truly don't believe it's worth him losing his job for what he done. He actually suspended Ray Rice for 2 ball games. And this was before the video. And I don't know. That's his story. I have no idea whether Roger Goodell has watched the video, did not watch the video. But either way, I can't see why people want him, or why they want the NFL to take his job away from him, even if he saw it or didn't see it. I know after the video was released and the Baltimore Ravens saw it, they got rid of Ray Rice. But I still do not see why Roger Goodell should be losing his job. I agree. They didn't have enough stiff enough penalty in there. They should have done it, but then they come right back after this happened. After they gave him the 2-game, they went back and rehashed this, talked about it, changed a few things, and now it went to like a 6-game minimum, I believe. So we got a call coming in. We're gonna get to this call, and Sports Talk Mania, you're on the line. Who we got?
It's Coach Boyd.
Coach Lee Boyd. Coach, I've done talked about that game, man, from the first minute of the show till now. I'm glad you took time to call us. Glad you got a little time to call us. Got the B-team game going on, we understand, up there in Lawrenceburg.
Yeah, we're up 6-0 right now. Pretty good time. Had a field goal call back for a hold, but we're up 6-0 right now and did a good job driving the field like this. So, a pretty good game right now.
Well, good deal. Coach, I'm going to be honest with you, and I've told these folks that's tuned in to us here on Sports Talk Mania, I've told them how much I think the Loretto Mustangs played possibly the best game of the season, if not the best game of the season. Would you agree with me on that one, Coach?
I would. I was really proud of the boys. We just simplified what we did. We talked about that on Monday. We were just going to simplify the things that we can do well, and we did that. We worked on that. Of course, they did some good things too, but we moved the field up. We moved the ball up and down the field against a really good defense. And I told my boys, I said, we're not big on excuses. We lost the ball game. It's our fault we lost it. It's not my fault more than theirs. But with the exception of them playing Giles County, where I think it just got away from them, they've only give up, I'm thinking something like 35 points all year. So they pride themselves on their defense, and so, I was really pleased with the fact that we moved it up and down the field. We done some things. We had some opportunities where we dropped the ball here, or, a fumble deep in our own territory. Things it's hard to overcome. But I was very pleased. I thought Luke Fleeman commanded our offense and commanded every aspect of it, as well as the defensive side of the ball. I thought he played really well. Joseph run real hard. Logan Noe did an unbelievable job blocking that on their Mike linebacker. So it really made for a better night for us.
Well, Coach, you was going up against one of the better players that I've seen against on defense, and that being big number 72, Eric Hicks. He had an outstanding game against you. It was like he was in your huddle.
Well, I tell you what was funny about that. Eric's a great player, and he's a great kid. But this is what we told our offensive line. We don't want him to make more than 5 plays in the game. Now, he's used to making probably anywhere from 10 to 15 tackles. And we said, here's the deal. There's going to be times where he's going to make a good read and he's going to get over the top and make the tackle. But we're going to do 3 things. We're going to release under him, we're going to read him, and we're going to track him. And then we're going to double him, so 4 things. And we did that the first 4 or 5 plays, and for a while I think he was thinking, oh, my gosh, I don't even know what to do. And then later he settled down, and when he sat back for a minute, we doubled him, and he didn't like that too much, and he did what good players do. And he bowed his neck up and said, you know what, I'll just go get him this time, and he did, and that's okay. We got a couple of those, too. I got a number 32 in the middle of it to go get you every now and then when he wants to.
You got that right.
But yeah, he, the biggest thing that we noticed was, of course, Lockridge and Loveless, and I think it's Blue, Rebel U, and several of the other ones they have. Got a really good Berry kid that's coming up. They have a unbelievable talent level. And Marquise has worked very hard in the off season to get to the level, and it showed on that one draw. We counted 9 missed tackles. And, one of my coaches said, Coach, I don't know if that's much effort. And I said, no, Coach, that's all the effort we got. He's just that strong. He's running through us right now. And he agreed. I think out in the heat of it, you look at it, we hit him solid 4 or 5 times, and he's just done such a good job in the off season, like good players do, and he's done some really good stuff. So, that's one of those things that happens. We've had a couple of those back to Loretta, and they have one right now. And it is what it is right there. When you look at the stats of the game, the scheme, I thought we had the ball 70 plays. I think they had it 30, and we had it for 32 minutes. And against a bigger opponent, that's pretty much how you want it to play out if it ever does. And when we give up 4 big plays, it kind of kills us in the end. So
Well, and Coach, I agree with you, and that was going to be my next question to you, or my next thought to you, to get your opinion on that. We actually held the ball for over 30-plus minutes. They had it for 16 minutes, and I'm going by my stats on this. So in a 48-minute ball game, we controlled the ball all that time. Plus, we put up 300-plus yards on them, and they only put up 283 yards, I think it was, on us. With that being said, Coach, I mean, I told a guy today, I told him the statistics before I told him the score, and he said, well, the way you're talking, I'm going to assume you lost. I'm going to say a 21-17 ball game. And I said, no, the score was actually 42-12. And he looked at me and he said, there ain't no way you could do that. And I said, well, there was. But I said, when you got big plays, and that's what we gave up. So, what's your thoughts on that looking forward, Coach?
Well, obviously, the big plays hurt us. They run a rocket to our weak side. We had talked about that, and our safety's got to come up real fast, and our outside dog's got to set that edge. And I'm not so sure that our dog saw it until it was too late. Of course, Lovelace got speed that we don't have. I mean, he really is special. He's been blessed with that kind of speed.
Him and Lockridge, though. I'm sorry, Coach.
Yeah, Lovelace and Lockridge both. Yeah, they both have unbelievable speed. God bless them with unbelievable talent right there. And he got the edge on us, and they went one time. And then, of course, the punt return. I wasn't disagreeing. I asked the official nicely why that they can run it back when they call a fair catch, and we stop and they run it back. That was basically how that conversation went. Now, he didn't like that conversation, but when I feel like the guy puts his hands up and says, if his hands come above his shoulders, it ought to be a fair catch. And our guys thought that, so they stopped. And then he ran it, and I didn't agree with that. But that don't make excuse. They ran one double handoff Sally. Lockridge ran it, I think, 70 yards. And we were there. We hit him. We just slid off of him. And then, of course, we give it to him deep inside. But, yeah, big plays are, look, against teams like that, against teams that are bigger than you, or I don't want to say better, but bigger than you, and play at a little higher set level each week, you can't give them. We've talked about this, and of course, I know it sounds like a broken record, but if we can limit those things, we'll be fine.
I agree with you, Coach.
If I had the answers to limiting mistakes, I would do it. It's not for lack of repping. It's not for lack of focus, I don't think. I think it's just one of those things where it's just happening right now. I hope we've got them all out in the first full ball game. So,
do what now, Coach?
I said I hope we've got all that mistakes and things out of our system for the first 4 ball games. So if we can just continue to do the things that we do well, like we did, and simplify it, and put the little things in based on the different adjustments that we feel like their defense is going to make, we'll be just fine. We're just getting there, doing things, chugging along. We got inside their 20. Somebody asked me, said, golly, how'd you have so many yards? I said, well, it ain't got nothing to do with it in the first 60 you go. It's in the last 20 that's important. Man, you played golf for years, and I'll tell you, I told you this before, I can hit it a mile, but if I can't hit it on a green, it don't make any difference. So, and then I think football's the same way. I think life's that way. You start out great, but if you end horrible, it's not going to do you any good. So
I agree with you 100%, Coach. And again, my hat's off to you and your coaching staff. I think these young Mustangs are coming along. Like I say, my personal opinion was they look better. Again, the scoreboard didn't show it, but I don't worry about the scoreboard as much as I look for improvement on the field. And I felt like this past Friday night we played the best game that we've played all year. I was impressed with it. The kids done an excellent job. Coach, talking about that, what kind of momentum we got rolling into our big district game coming up this Friday night?
Well, the kids, obviously, they don't like losing, and it's never part of our vocabulary, and it's not acceptable in any circumstances. But I will say this, from our player standpoint, I think with a lot of our kids, it clicked with them Friday night. I come out about halfway through the third quarter. Of course, we kind of knew, my kids knew that the game was out of hand at that point. After we didn't get, we brought to 28-6, and then we drove it down, and they stopped us on 4th and 1 right there. They kind of knew, and then they come back with it. They kind of knew, there's not. I mean, we ain't gonna quit, but you could tell. I can tell I've been around them long enough to look in their eyes and know we're not gonna win this one. But the amazing thing about that is our kids, they don't care. They wasn't playing for that reason. They were playing to play. They were playing to get better. They were playing because of the experience. And that's special because it's hard to get kids to do that. But the one thing that I saw that made me happy was, and sometimes I've said this before, you have to go backwards to go forward. And we didn't go backwards. What we did was we realized that it's only us out there. It's only each other. It's only our, the guy beside you. That's the important thing. And I know everybody says that's a cliche term. It's really not. It's true. I think if you go to a military aspect of things, or maybe a military mentality, they'll tell you ain't nothing but the guy beside you. I mean, it really is. And we got that about halfway through the third quarter. You could look off the field. We wasn't trying to affect their play. We wasn't trying to jack them up. All we were trying to do was see how they responded in the second half. And it was amazing. They pulled tight to each other. They finished the game with honor. They fought to the end, and we punched one in at the end. That's all you can ask out of a team. So going forward to Collinwood, if we can hold that same mindset, which I can tell you I think we will, because I got a lot of upperclassmen up here watching this game tonight on the sidelines. They just want to be here for the guys. If we can continue that going, then we're going to have some pretty good success.
Well, Coach, like you said, you got to have the camaraderie, and I agree. And even Big Fred made note of that later on in our post-game talks that we have amongst ourselves in Mustangs TV group. We were talking about it, and Big Fred said, guys, it was like they never got down on the sideline, even though the score was out of hand, like you and I just said. The score was out of hand. The guys never got down, and they were still fighting till the end, which, I expect, especially a Coach Lee Boyd team to do anyway. But when you see that from a lot of young guys, Coach, my hat's off to you and your staff for that.
Well, look, I've heard people say, well, maybe attitude reflects leadership. I think we all agree with that. I think whatever thing motivates you or leads you in your life is what's going to, it's the aroma of your heart, okay? If you have a lousy attitude, then you're going to have a lousy disposition, and you're going to stink. Your aroma is going to stink. Your attitude is going to stink.
You're absolutely right, Coach.
Well, if you have the things that the mindset or maybe the awareness to realize that I'm getting to do this, and there's a reason why I get to do this, and I've worked hard and I've done those things, and it'll come. It'll come. It's just like anything. If you work hard enough at it, it'll come. And I'm not going to quit. I'm not a quitter. I wasn't raised by a quitter. I wasn't coached by a quitter, and I'm not around quitters. So I'm not going to coach quitters. And my bus don't do that. I'm proud of them. I love them. I wouldn't trade them for anybody. And they're mine. And if anybody tells you different, they're lying. So,
well, Coach,
they're my kids.
That's right. They're your kids. Coach, looking to Collinwood, what are we going to look for Friday night?
I think Collinwood is they're going to be hungry. They're going to want to win. They're going to want to win. They're 0-4, and they play some tough competition just like us. And they're going to be scrappy. They're Collinwood. They're going to fight and do those things they got to do. But we know if we win this and we get to play some of that extra football, and that's very important for us. And we know if we can do that, play well, we'll be just fine. We just got to execute and do the things we can do, limit turnovers, limit mistakes, and then we'll come back from that crested field over there with a W.
One of the best atmospheres to play in, by the way, that I think personally that there is over at Collinwood's field. And, again, like you said, I know you're going to have a scrappy Collinwood team you're actually going to play against Friday night. Coach, best of luck to you. Before we let you go, though, we want to thank you for taking the time out of your B-team game or watching your B-team game. But what's the score over there, Coach?
6-0, 8 minutes left in the third quarter. They just got started, and we're either punting. I think we're punting right now, from our own 20. So we fighting hard, doing good things, and the young kids are coming on. So all you can ask for is to get to play the next down. That's what they're doing. So
hey, that's great, Coach. Well, Coach, best of luck to the JV squad tonight. Best of luck to you Friday night. Look forward to talking to you about it next Monday.
All right, thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Coach. That's Coach Lee Boyd with the Loretta Mustangs football team. and had him on here. I want to thank Coach Boyd for taking a minute out of his time to talk to us, a few minutes out of his time, I should say. And, Coach, we appreciate you being on here each and every Monday, giving us your outlooks on the past game as well as what's coming up for the upcoming ball game. Again, Loretta traveling to Collinwood this Friday night. Make sure you get out there and join all the Mustang fans as well as all of us from Mustangs TV, as we'll be set up broadcasting live from Collinwood this Friday night. Hope to see you there. If not, you can pick it up on MustangsTV.com. Phone lines are open at 931-629-1824. Be glad to talk to you about anything sports. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and bring you the last 9 minutes of Sports Talk Mania. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Tailgate checklist. Cooler.
Check.
Chips.
Check.
Hot dogs.
Check.
Mustang gear.
Check.
Insurance.
Check.
This season, protect your team with insurance from Auto Owners Insurance and Loretto Insurance Services. Keep everything you value safe, sound, secure. Call Loretto Insurance Services in Loretto today. 931-853-7126.
Yo, this is Big Fred. Tune in Thursday night. Big Fred Show. You never know what we're going to talk about. Never know where we're going to be. We'll be everywhere, because that's where we like to be, is everywhere. Tune in Thursday night, 7 o'clock. The Big Fred Show. Also, check out Lee Haygood Show, Sports Talk Mania. He's an encyclopedia, and if he don't know it, it ain't true. So there you go, y'all. Big Fred Show, Sports Talk Mania. Tune in.
The Tennessee National Raceway, where dirt track racing is at its best. That's the Tennessee National Raceway, 316 Racetrack Road, Hohenwald, Tennessee. Come out each and every Saturday night during racing season, ladies and gentlemen, and see some of the best dirt track racing anywhere around this area. That's the Tennessee National Raceway, 316 Racetrack Road, Hohenwald, Tennessee.
Southern Craft Manufacturing in Loretto, Tennessee blends old world craftsmanship and modern manufacturing for a multitude of steel and brushed finish caskets. Founder Rodney Robinson is dedicated to providing the finest quality at the best value. At Southern Craft Manufacturing, we are committed to choice with a variety of colors and hardware designs for limitless combinations. Southern Craft Manufacturing, North Main Street, Loretto. Toll free 800-413-1778.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Talk Mania. We got about 8 minutes remaining in our show today. We're here with you each and every Monday from the hours of 6 to 7 p.m. Phone lines are always open, so you can give us a call at 931-629-1824. And if you don't want to talk to us live, you can always shoot us an email at sportstalk@MustangsTV.com. That's sports with an S, talk at MustangsTV.com. If you'd like to shoot us an email, we check our email box quite often, so we'll try to get it on. If we can't, we'll get it on the next week's show. Before Coach Boyd called in and I was talking about the Ray Rice incident, I was actually leading up to the Adrian Peterson incident. I've not seen pictures on this. Don't want to see pictures on this, to be quite honest with you. I do believe in discipline a child. That was the way I was brought up. That's my belief. If what I hear is true about the pictures of the bruises and all that, don't believe in that by no means. I'm totally against all that. But a tail whooping or something of that nature, trust me, I got plenty of those growing up. And to be honest, my mom and dad, as much as I love them, they didn't whip me enough, I don't think. I should have been whipped quite more often, and a lot of my friends and people that's known me all these years, they'll tell you the same thing. But as far as Adrian Peterson is concerned, if it's the truth and all the bruises and the whelps and that's on, I'm not going to say I totally disagree with that. But, you know, if it takes discipline a child as far as whooping their tail or something of that nature, I'm not against that. So it's just actually it's how far you take it. And I think that's what's going on here here in this Adrian Peterson case. I honestly believe, personally, judging off of what I've heard and seen on the news, again, I've not seen the pictures, don't want to see the pictures, because that's the last thing I ever want to see is a child hurt in any way, and don't want to see those pictures. But based off of what I'm hearing, that's kind of where the judicial thing is actually riding is did he go too far, did he not? I think a court of law needs to decide that. I don't think that's something for me to judge. I don't think other people need to be judging that. I think that's something that the judicial system needs to step in and do their job on, and after that, we'll talk about it more. So my personal opinion on that is that's where I'm going to leave it, being Sports Talk show host. I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll see what comes out of that. The other things, I've actually heard that the Minnesota Vikings, they did set him out yesterday's ball game, and good or bad, or whether you agree with or disagree with it, I'm not going to say either one as of that, on that subject either. I'm not going to jump in on that. As far as them reinstating him and bringing him back, I don't know that I totally agree with that. I probably don't agree with that until the courts give their actual verdict or a little bit more investigation onto it, I should say. So we'll see what happens there. Again, we got the back to high school football. Loretta Mustangs traveling to Collinwood this Friday night. All you Mustang fans, look forward to seeing you over at Collinwood High School Stadium this Friday night. Mustang TV crew will be there. Myself, Josh McDonald, and Big Fred on the sideline, along with probably Miss Bailey running the camera and KJ doing the producing and whoever else in the Mustang TV crew that's over there. We look forward to seeing you come out. Say hi to us when you come by if you would like. We'll definitely wave at you or speak to you if we're not live on the air at the time, and look forward to that game Friday night. Hopefully the Mustangs can take a win there, and as Coach Boyd said, that as long as you just don't completely trip over yourself for the remainder of the season, that'd probably move you into playing a little extra ball, and that's what the Mustangs, being a young team, that's what they need, is as many snaps and as much practice as they can get, and you always enjoy seeing that. Don't forget the Tennessee Volunteers are actually off this coming weekend. They do not play a game again until Saturday, September the 27th. That's going to be at Georgia. They'll be playing Between the Hedges at Georgia. So a lot of things going on this weekend as well. Even though Tennessee is not playing football, that don't mean that's the end of the weekend, because don't forget you got youth ball going on around the area. I think the Loretta Youth League actually playing at home this weekend. Got Summertown's Youth League, I'm sure, probably playing again this weekend. Glad to see Summertown getting more involved in football. Look forward to the day when they actually have a high school team at Summertown. So kind of figured that would have already happened. It hasn't yet. They're kind of going about it pretty slow. And some of our Summertown Eagle fans and listeners, they may not be liking that. If you don't, hey, you can give us a call. We'll talk about that here on Sports Talk Mania as well. Lawrence County, trying to pull up their schedule real quick just because I'm a little interested in who they're playing this weekend, because I've done forgot I had it on my mind just a few seconds ago and actually had it wrote on paper, and I've lost my little paper that I had it wrote on. They're actually going up against Coffee County Central this Friday night. It's at home, so it's at Hendrick Stagg Stadium right there in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, taking on the Coffee County Central High School. Then, as far as the Lawrence County High School Wildcats are concerned, the remainder of their schedule looks like this. They're going to take on Coffee County High School this Friday night at Hendrick Stagg Stadium. Then they travel to Spring Hill. That's going to be a tough ball game. I think Spring Hill surprising a lot of people this year, and if not, maybe not a lot of the locals, because I'm sure the locals probably knew they were going to be pretty good. But most of the people around the area, like your analysts and everything, they wasn't predicting them to have as good a season, I think, as what they're already having. So Lawrence County Wildcats traveling to Spring Hill on September the 26th. Then they're taking on Lincoln County at Hendrick Stagg Stadium on October the 3rd. Then they've actually got a bye week on the week of 10-10. They're not in action the week of October the 10th. They're going to take that week off to host Tullahoma, who's another team that's pretty good in the Lawrence County High School district. They're one of the better district teams as well. Kind of surprising this past Friday night, they actually defeated Giles County. That's Tullahoma defeating Giles County this past Friday night. Kind of surprised a lot of people that they did do that. Again, Lawrence County Wildcats will be hosting them on October the 17th. And then Franklin County the following week, October the 24th, they're hosting them. And then they end their regular season on the road at Chevyville Central. That's October 31st. Halloween night, again, Lawrence County ending their regular season. Big district game there as well. Chevyville, as far as I can remember, been their last ball games, even back in the days I was playing at Lawrence County High School. Chevyville being the last ball game of the season. That's on the calendar as well this year. They play them on Halloween night. So we're looking forward to all these games, Lawrence County. Excuse me. Lawrence County 2-2 record now. Loretta Mustangs with a 1-3 record now following the loss to rival Lawrence County High School. And in case you missed it, Coach Boyd and I Coach Boyd called, and we were discussing that, and the statistics show that Loretta should have won, if not won, been real close. Well, like Coach Boyd said, we gave up some big plays. Mr. Lockridge was doing his thing the other night, and once he would, like Coach Boyd said, and I've already acknowledged that we were missing several tackles, Lockridge himself made a lot of those missed tackles, just being as good a player as he is. So with that being said, congratulations again going out to the Wildcats. Talking about the Mustangs the remaining schedule for the Mustangs, again, this Friday night, traveling to Collinwood to take on the Collinwood Trojans. At their home field, that's 9-19, which is this Friday night. Following that, we travel to Mount Pleasant, September the 26th at Mount Pleasant. Then we've got, just to let you know, we've got 4 road games coming up, ladies and gentlemen, all you Mustang fans anyway. Got at Mount Pleasant on September 26th. Then we travel over to Wayne County on October the 3rd. Take our trip to Wayne County. That'll be our final district game of the season at Wayne County. Then we're going to long travel to Hartsville, Tennessee to take on Trousdale County. That's coming October the 10th. Then we finally get to come home for our last 2 games of the season. Actually, I think the October 17th game against Richland, we will host Richland on October 17th. I believe that's homecoming night at LM Forsyth Memorial Field. So looking forward to homecoming. Get the band, which does a great job every year under the direction of Mr. Darrell Boston. Maybe one of the smallest bands you see, but I'm going to tell you, they won some awards this past weekend in some kind of a band contest that they went to. Congratulations to Mr. Darrell Boston and his Loretta High School band for the accomplishments that they had this past weekend. Then we close out our season October the 24th against Columbia Academy. They are coming to Loretta, LM Forsyth Memorial Field. Ladies and gentlemen, we're running just a little over. Want to thank you for tuning in to us and joining us here on Sports Talk Mania. Look forward to talking to you next Monday. You can always give us a call during the show hours at 931-629-1824. Don't forget, you can shoot us an email at sportstalk@MustangsTV.com. That's sports with an S, talk at MustangsTV.com. Shoot us an email. We'll be glad to answer those questions on Monday's show as well. As for me, I'm Lee Haygood. Look forward to seeing you and talking to you next Monday between the hours of 6 and 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, everyone have a great week. Look forward to seeing you at the ball game Friday night. If not, get out and support your local high school teams this Friday night. Everyone have a great week. Until next Monday at 6 o'clock, Godspeed.